How old are you?
Oh, you're not allowed to ask those questions.
Did you not feel free at a certain point?
I guess in my 40s, the freedom feeling started to kind of go away.
One of my biggest struggles now is figuring out where I want to live.
Get out there and travel a little, and you're going to start to appreciate what you have a little bit more.
Okay, who am I here with?
Chris Parker?
How old are you?
Oh, you're not allowed to ask those questions to a senior like me, man. I'm 51.
Usually only women make that comment.
Oh, well, gets even more insulting than this guy.
What does it feel like to be 51?
To be honest, it feels pretty great, man. I never felt more free.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, did you not feel free at a certain point?
Yeah, I guess in my 40s, the freedom feeling started to kind of go away, just got deeper into that kind of corporate life, and then it felt like it was sucking a bit of the freedom out of me. So yeah, I guess in the 40s was when the freedom started to kind of dissipate.
Yeah. And where are you from?
From Peterborough originally, Canada, Toronto after that, but kind of lived in a lot of places.
So we're in Bangkok for reference, so why did you move to Bangkok?
Man, I've been dreaming about it my whole life. I came here for the first time in '94 and fell in love with the place and kept coming back year after year for vacation. And in the back of my mind, I was always dreaming. It was always the dream. One day I'll move there. One day I'll move there. And then finally just decided to make it happen.
Is there a trigger moment or like a climactic event that...
Yeah, it was great. Like we were waiting until our daughter was going to be finished high school. And she was 16, halfway through high school. We were living in LA at the time. We're like, let's just let her finish high school and then move. And then my wife and I were chatting and we're like, you know what? She needs to see something a little bit different and experience something a little bit different. So we dropped the news on her and she hated us.
Really? And now?
A year into it, she sat us down one night and she said, I'm super glad that you guys brought me over here. It's different, man. She gets here, she makes some friends. You're a senior in high school here. You're clubbing in Bangkok. Like you're doing stuff that you don't do back in LA as a high school kid.
Yeah. Has Bangkok changed you or done anything to the way you think? Because you said you worked in the corporate world and you've had obviously your business and whatnot. You feel differently, think differently? Is there what kind of takeaways do you have from being here?
Yeah, Bangkok frees your mind. Thailand overall, it frees your mind to just be yourself. And the way that it's changed me, I find back in Canada and North America where I lived before, I would catch myself falling into a trap of becoming judgmental and always judging people and judging what they say and what they think. You live here, man, you meet a wacky cast of characters, but nobody's judging anyone. You're just like live and let live. And when you live that way, it's to me it's addictive. It's the only way to live. Like I couldn't go back now to that culture.
What do you do for a living?
I retired to move here. And then kind of got bored of being retired, and so I started a YouTube channel, man.
What's it called? Plug it.
Retired Working for You. Check it out, man. It's all about Thailand.
And what were you doing before you retired?
It was a 20-year career in the film industry, like all on the supply side. So renting cameras, post-production services, lighting rentals, all that sort of stuff.
Did you enjoy it?
The first 80% of that timeline, I loved it. We were like building stuff. We started a company and we're playing by our own rules. And then it started to get really big, which was exciting. But then it got to a certain point and it just became about spreadsheets and money. And it wasn't about the creativity of being on shows. And a buddy of mine told me something once. He goes, if you start your own company, the day that you have to get an HR department is the day it's like it dies, man. The fun dies.
Did you always want to be an entrepreneur? Did you
Yeah.
find yourself in it?
Yeah, no, I've never had a job. I've ever since I was a kid in high school, just starting little side businesses and stuff, and then moved to Korea right after uni. You know, started a reggae bar over in Seoul and just, you know, always found it just more enjoyable to come up with an idea and start something of my own.
I mean, that's a good segue into this question, but like, what are some qualities that you believe everyone should have to be a good entrepreneur?
Number one is look for win-win relationships. There's too many people out there who think a good deal is I win, you lose. And I think the people that I see that succeed over the long term are always looking for ways that everybody can win. And if you find that, then maybe this month didn't look as good as it could have, but long term, you're going to win the game, man.
And what would you say is a big success that you've had, like something you're really proud of business-wise?
I guess the biggest one was when we landed Game of Thrones, when they flipped from season 3 to season 4. We were coming on at that time, and Game of Thrones decided to put all their final color correction over to us. And it felt like, oh, wow, this is nuts. This is crazy.
Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'll speak on myself personally. One of my biggest struggles now is figuring out where I want to live. And I'm going back and forth between areas out here in Asia, areas back home where there's more attention and money and opportunity. What would you advise, because you've kind of done the whole course so far?
I'd say live wherever you feel in your heart and bones and soul you can just be yourself the most. And for me, that's Thailand. Like, Thailand is I'm never going, this is it, man. I've never been anywhere that just, I can just be myself and feel comfortable in my own skin. So wherever that is for you, you can't, that's a deep feeling. And so when you recognize that, there's something to that.
But you think that's easier said, maybe given all the experience you have in life versus me on the, kind of starting out my career first few years? Or would you, if you could go back in time, would you have done the same thing?
Oh, I'd do the same thing. I mean, I got a one-way ticket 3 days after graduating university in London, Ontario, and moved to Korea. And the other thing is, life's kind of what you make it, right? Like, I loved my time in Seoul, loved my time in Toronto, loved my time in LA, and now I'm loving my time in Bangkok. So part of it is life's what you make it. And where you live and who you surround yourself with can be great anywhere, but there's certain places that I just think bring out the best in your deep kind of soul.
Yeah. Okay. 2 quick questions. First one is, what does travel do to someone, generally speaking? I understand the value of travel, but I have a lot of friends that if they took one trip with some meaningful direction to it, would change their lives, but they don't feel incentivized enough to do that because they don't know how to do it and they're not comfortable enough to do it. So just speaking on your experience, what has travel changed or done for you?
Everything, man. It's like some of the biggest moments in my life have resulted in travel. The first one, I went to Cuba when I was in university. It just opens your mind, right? Changed my life. Went into the deep jungles of Borneo once in the late 90s. Again, different. You experience and see different sides of the world. It just makes you understand that you're probably lucky with how you got it. If you were born in my country, Canada, like you won the lottery ticket the day you were born, it's easy to forget that. Get out there and travel a little, and you're going to start to appreciate what you have a little bit more.
If you could give one piece of advice to anybody your age or younger than you, what would you say?
Come to Bangkok, man. Like, you come over here, travel around Thailand a little bit, and your eyes are gonna pop wide open. Things are gonna get a little nutty and wild.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Appreciate it. You're amazing. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then you'll definitely like this video right here. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure to do that. I'm Will, and it's a mindset. See you next time.